Spar and Bernstein has been nothing but great to me throughout my trials. I mean, it's 5 years into this car accident, and they never gave up on me, never. And in everything, they fought for me, and I am so proud to tell everyone, don't even wink for a moment. It's you, Spar and Bernstein. My lawyer here, Mr. Barack, has been a cage animal. He wanted to go on trial, but thank God we settled out of court, and it was something that I'm very, very happy about. So everyone, I'm telling you, I'm not just making stories up. You have to use this law firm. Spar and Bernstein is the best, worldwide best.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All of us are done through Mr. Bernstein. It started from my mom right up to the siblings. So we are so grateful for Mr. Bernstein. The ins and outs takes us almost 3 years.
And now you're with your children?
Yes, I'm with them.
How does it feel to be with your kids now?
Oh, it's joyful, joyful. So I'm heading on to the next phase now. Thank you, Mr. Bernstein.
Okay.
All of us are done through Mr. Bernstein. It started from my mom right up to the siblings. So we are so grateful for Mr. Bernstein. The ins and outs takes us almost 3 years.
And now you're with your children?
Yes, I'm with them.
How does it feel to be with your kids now?
Oh, it's joyful, joyful. So I'm heading on to the next phase now. Thank you, Mr. Bernstein.
Okay.
Well, Spar and Bernstein has been nothing but great to me throughout my trials. I mean, it's 5 years into this car accident, and they never gave up on me, never. And in everything, they fought for me, and I am so proud to tell everyone, don't even wink for a moment. It's you, Spar and Bernstein. My lawyer here, Mr. Barack, has been a cage animal. He wanted to go on trial, but thank God we settled out of court, and it was something that I'm very, very happy about. So everyone, I'm telling you, I'm not just making stories up. You have to use this law firm. Spar and Bernstein is the best, worldwide best.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is your American dream?
My family is from Ecuador and I am from Chicago. My American dream is to be able to pay back my parents for everything they did for me.
I come from France and my American dream is to help every day the homeless. Merci à vous.
I am from Tunisia. My American dream is to see love and peace.
I was born in North Carolina, Rocky Mount. My dream is to have peace, and that's it.
My parents are Guyanese, so I'm first generation American. My American dream is that we all get the same treatment, same laws, same education as everyone. That will be my American dream.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Que muchas muchas gracias por todo, abogadas, aquí por un sueño hecho realidad. A los 24 años de adquirir algo que me esperé tanto tiempo. Gracias a la abogada Marina, aquí es su patrón. Muchísimas gracias. Y le recomiendo que esta es realidad, un sueño que se me cumplió y estoy muy feliz. Y muy feliz. Gracias.
Congratulations.
Felicidades.
Thank you. The outcome of your divorce could affect you for the rest of your life. If you don't have the right attorney, you could literally be paid through the nose forever.
That's right, Brad. For example, did you know that half the money you put into your retirement during your marriage is up for grabs in your divorce? So a disagreement as to when your marriage exactly ended could cost you thousands of dollars from your hard-earned retirement fund. And let's say you bought a house together. Factors like who's paying the bills, who paid the down payment, and whether you're receiving rental income can all affect your settlement in huge ways.
If you're having family law issues, if you're having matrimonial issues, you need attorneys who are going to fight hard for you. Call the matrimonial department, the family law department here at the law offices of Spar and Bernstein. What is your American dream?
I'm from Chicago, my parents are from the Philippines, and my American dream is to have world peace. I think that it all starts with teaching each other how to love one another, and that will set the path for a positive future.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. My American dream is peace on earth.
I was born in Moscow. My American dream is I really want to get good education and I want to do my favorite things in the future.
I was born in New Jersey. My American dream is to hit the Mega Millions so I can take care of my family, my friends, and myself.
I'm from Belgium. My American dream would be that between youth people we have deep conversation about our faith, about how we see life and how we can live together.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Hi, Nikisha. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Hey, did you see yesterday's episode of The Brad Show? I did. Oh, you did? Well, I want to tell you anyway what happened because maybe some people didn't see it. Okay. So, first of all, we had Tamika Rochester on. She is the founder of Harlem Cycle, which is the first spin boutique in Harlem. And she's also the founder of the Renaissance Group International that helps orphans in South Africa. Amazing. Then, Brad made up two new words, Fabby and Expedious. Don't know what, like, Expedious, that's so funny. And Fabby, I like, it's like Fabio. And then he also taught Kim a word, circuitous. Kim had never heard that word before, circuitous. And then we had John from Seattle, Washington calling. Do you know he's been arrested 5 times since 1966? But Brad broke it all down with him, and we think he's actually going to be okay with all his immigration stuff. Good. So tonight, when the show goes on, can I please watch it with you?
Sure.
Please? Sure. Oh, good. I'm going to pop some popcorn. Get ready. Yay. We can watch and answer phones together. I bet I could help you answer phones.
Yes, and you can help maybe with the weather. How about that?
Say 6 weeks, right?
Oh, I know. The weather's been terrible. I don't understand. I was laying out in the park just the other day, and now it's freezing. Yes. I'm going to have to talk to Mother Nature about this. I mean, everyone puts a lot of pressure on me. I'm just a groundhog.
Okay, well, you can slide this one time, but please.
Okay, I'll try.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Nikisha.
Show of the week, it is Friday, and to those in Jamaica and Jamaicans around, I believe today is Jamaica Day. Happy Jamaica Day. It is celebration of Jamaican culture. And I think the schools are off in Jamaica too. I'm not 100% sure, but if my recollection is correct, they do have the schools off. So to everybody in Jamaica and Jamaicans around the world, happy Jamaica Day. To everybody else, happy Friday. It is Friday, and it is the Brad Show, and that means we are live at 5:30 to 7:30, and I am here to give you some immigration information and talk about some other stuff as well, But first of all, I do have to remind everybody that the best thing you can do to help us, before we even get into this show, let me just tell everybody, please share this with your friends and family. Let everybody know that we are here. I am here to help you. Best way to share this is to take your thumb out. This is not a thumb. Take your finger out. This is your thumb, finger, pinky. I don't want to give the middle finger, whatever finger you want, and press a button, and please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we are here to help you. Put it on your timeline, put it on your friend's timeline, send it in Messenger, send it in groups that you are members of. Please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we are here to help you. The other thing I want to let everybody know that our official page, we are not changing it. I have decided we are not changing it. Our official page is the official Brad Show page. So if you want to know when we are on, when I am on, and you want to get notification, you must like and follow the page. If you like and follow the page, you will get notification that we are on. Now, with all of that said, out of the way, let's get going here. Sad news, unfortunately. We're still, every day is news about the gun violence, the shooting in Florida. And by the way, before we even get into that, I just want to let everybody know there are 12 open lines right now on our board. Nobody has called in with their immigration questions, so our lines are open. So if you do want to get on our show, get your immigration questions asked and answered, the telephone number to call right now is 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Once the phones start ringing, I'll stop my shooting the breeze, and we're going to get right into immigration questions. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. The other thing I do got to remind everybody, besides 1-800-LAW-LINK, is that number is also the number to my law office. There's so many people who say, okay, Brad, I like you. How do I meet you? How do I schedule an appointment? How do I meet the other attorneys who you're a feature here? It's the same telephone number. The number to call to get on our show is also the telephone number for my law office, which is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. So you can call to schedule an appointment. You can call to get on our show. Talk to me. Ask a comment. Make a comment. Ask a question. 1-800-529-5465. You can call to just store the number. Storing the number is awesome. Why? Because now you got good lawyers saved in your phone for life. So you pick up the phone, you dial the number, you hear, hi, Spar and Bernstein, how can I help you? Blah, 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 blah. You're like, click. And once you click and hang up, you've got that number stored in the memory of your phone, and then you can just save it in your contacts. You could save it under Brad, you could save it under Spar and Bernstein, you could save it under good lawyer, good guy, whatever you want to call me, lawyer Brad, whatever you want to call me. It's saved there. God forbid you or your family member needs a good lawyer, whether it's immigration, personal injury, construction accidents, divorce and matrimonial law, family court, tax debt relief, criminal defense. You've got our number saved 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to figure out, hey, I saw this guy. I don't remember how to find him. I don't remember the way to call him. You just got the number saved. So it's 1-800-529-5465. And by the way, Felicia in Miami, Florida, she has already called with her immigration question. We're going to get to Felicia in a minute. I'd like some other people to call as well, so we can go right through the list here. 1-800-529-5465. While we're waiting for the phones to heat up, I did read today that a bunch of the children who were senselessly murdered in Florida were in fact immigrants themselves. Some of them ended up being heroes. 15-year-old Anthony Borges. He is originally from Venezuela. He was shot 5 times, this 15-year-old boy. He immigrated to the United States from Venezuela. He left the violence in Venezuela only to find violence in southern Florida. He is credited, this immigrant boy from Venezuela, the same immigrants that Trump wants to kick out, he is credited with saving at least 20 of his classmates, American citizens, people who were born here in the United States, 20 of his classmates, as many of his classmates hid behind the door, and he held the door tight and put his body in front of the door so that the shooter would not walk into the classroom where all of the other students were hiding. And of course, the shooter shot through the door, and shot Anthony. And he is credited, however, because he did hold the door tight so that the shooter was not able to walk into the classroom and mow everybody down. He is credited, he is a hero, and he is credited with saving over 20 of his classmates. He is an immigrant. He was born in Venezuela and now lives in the United States. He is clinging to life. He is alive. He is clinging to life. The family has started a fund to help for his medical treatment, a GoFundMe fund. It has raised over $574,000. The hospital has said it can't release any of the details of his condition. It can't be good. He got shot 5 times. He does have a long road ahead of him, several more surgeries, and we pray for him. So if you want to go help him, go to the Borges GoFundMe, and you can help the family of Anthony Borges, an immigrant from Venezuela who saved 20 of his classmates. He is not the only person to have saved his classmates. There are other immigrant children as well. A Martin Duque, he was 14 years old. He's a Mexican immigrant. Trump wants to not have Mexican immigrants here in the United States. He immigrated here, and he is now being given the honor. He was a JROTC cadet, which is a junior ROTC cadet, which means that he was training to go into the U.S. military. He is being hailed as a hero as well. And he is being given the Medal of Heroism by the United States Army for those who have performed acts of heroism. He unfortunately has passed away. Another JROTC junior cadet, Peter Wang, he was shot and killed as he held a door for others to escape. He is also being called a hero. He is the son of Chinese immigrants. And for his heroism, the United States Military Academy at West Point has announced that it would honor Wang's dream of attending the academy by posthumously offering him a letter of acceptance to the school. Joaquin Oliver, he is another immigrant. He became just a citizen of the United States of America last year. He also came from Venezuela, and sadly on one of his social media pages there is a caption. When he became a citizen, in quotes, he writes, "Mama, we made it." And unfortunately, shortly thereafter, he made it here to America as a U.S. citizen. Mama, we made it. Unfortunately, he was mowed down and killed senselessly. He wrote on the caption, "Mama, we made it. 14 years ago, we moved to this wonderful country, and 14 years later, we are officially citizens of the United States of America. I have never been more proud." And unfortunately now, he is not with us anymore. And it is sad that these children are not with us. It is sad that children can't go to school without being hunted by weapons of mass killing. It is sad that Donald Trump sits in his office and listens to these families tell them their stories about their children who got hunted by semi-automatic weapons that shoot off 20, 30, 40 rounds in several seconds, and then turns around and goes to the NRA and the conservative political action committees to start demanding that they vote for Republicans so that the Democrats do not take away their Second Amendment rights to own whatever gun they want, to shoot as many rounds as they want, and to hold people in fear. This is the same man who says he doesn't want immigrants in America. He wants to ban immigrants from coming in. They are terrible people, he says. He has called them rapists and murderers. Yet all of these immigrant children ended up being heroes. People from countries that he called S-holes. And none of them shot anybody. It was an American-born person who shot all of these people. But unfortunately, you could only denigrate people who were not born in America. And unfortunately, you can only fingerprint people who are not born in America. I would love, personally, to fingerprint everybody in America. Let's run background checks on everybody. Just because you're born in America doesn't necessarily mean you're a safe person to live with. And just because you were born in another country doesn't necessarily mean you are unsafe to live next to. So we got a long way to go here in this country, but we are also a country of immigrants. No matter what anybody says, we're also strong people. And we know, the people who watch this show, the people who are part of this show, we know right from wrong, and hopefully right will overcome wrong. So it makes you feel sad, unfortunately, sometimes when you read these stories. It makes you feel very sad that children didn't get to live their lives, innocently cut down at school for no reason. And then it makes you doubly sad, triply sad, when you hear that there were immigrants who are so proud to have come to America, and you have a man in a White House who's saying, get rid of the immigrants, they're the killers, yet they're the heroes, at least many of them in this story. 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. We're going to go to our immigration lines now. We're going to go to Felicia, who's been waiting for 9 minutes. Felicia, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yes, I got a question. I'm from Liberia.
Okay.
And I was married and got 2 kids by my husband due to domestic violence.
Slow down. You were married. You're from Liberia. And what happened with domestic violence? I missed that part.
My husband, he's from here. He was born here.
He physically abused you?
Yes.
Okay. Was he arrested?
And,
he was arrested?
Yeah, he was arrested. And when we were married, we filed the I-130, which was approved.
Right.
But because we got separated, and I got a lawyer, and she said she filed the waiver, and I just got a letter today saying that they say looking over the case, it's going to take another 180 days before I can get
all right, so let me ask you a few questions here, okay? So I can figure this out for you. Your husband filed. You were married. Your husband was arrested. He was arrested for domestic abuse. So obviously you are the victim of domestic abuse. And when you're the victim of domestic abuse and you're living in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, you can file no matter what your husband did before. So we can forget about whatever he may or may not have filed for you in the past. That doesn't matter at this point. You are the victim of domestic abuse. He got arrested. So obviously this is not some made up cockaboli thing. Did I just make up another word? I guess cockaboli. I just made up a word. Cockaboli thing. This is a real thing. Now, when this is a real thing and your husband is a U.S. citizen, there is you never got a green card. Your husband started the process but never finished. This is what every person should be doing. Not only you, but everybody who is the victim of domestic abuse who is married to a U.S. citizen. It's different if you were married to a permanent resident, but if you are married to an American citizen and you are the victim of domestic abuse, every person should be doing the same thing. Besides the fact is making sure you're safe and there's orders of protection and the man or woman who's abusing you is out of the picture. Besides all of that, making sure you're safe and your family is safe as far as immigration is concerned, there's no waivers to file. You should be filing an adjustment application, which is an I-485, and an I-360 application for a Violence Against Women's Act claim, a domestic abuse claim. If you file the If you file the I-485 and the I-360, you should be getting your work permit in about 4 months. You should get travel permission in about 4 months. in approximately 6 months or less, you should be getting a letter from the Immigration Service saying that they have reviewed your case, temporarily reviewed your case. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting tongue-tied with words today. They've just basically kind of perused your case. I forgot the word that they actually used, but they perused it. They didn't look at it in fine detail, but they looked at it. And they say, you know what, you have a bona fide claim for a victim of violence in a domestic abuse case, and that you're also entitled to public benefits. Has that happened? Has all of that happened?
It just sent me that letter saying that I can get
the public benefits.
Thing, yes.
Yes. Did you get your work permit?
Not yet.
Okay. Did you file an adjustment application?
She just filed the 360.
Okay, that's what's wrong. Okay, that's what's wrong, because there is no reason in the world that you should file, because the I-360 takes about 18 to 20 months to get approved. Yep. So if you file an I-360 only without an adjustment, you are not entitled to work permission until the I-360 gets approved. You shouldn't have to wait over a year and a half to get permission to work legally in America. Now, that's why I said if you're an American citizen, if the domestic abuse was by an American citizen, every person should be following the same procedure. You should be filing not only the I-360, but you should be filing the adjustment application. And it doesn't matter how you entered America. You could have entered without inspection. It doesn't matter your entry issue. Because you are the victim of domestic abuse, you're entitled to adjust your status. Once that adjustment application goes in, you get a work permit in 4 months. You should be doing that. Everybody should be doing that. Why should you be held back? Why should you be held back from getting work permission?
Okay.
Hold on, we can help you, okay? Hold on. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Arlene in Brooklyn. Arlene.
Hello.
Arlene, how are you, Arlene?
Hi, I'm okay.
What's going on?
Yes, I want to ask a question. I have 3 kids. 2 is citizen and 1 is not. 1 is disabled. So I'm a green card holder, and I'm trying to find out, how could I file for my kid that is not a citizen, doesn't have any papers?
Okay, but you are a citizen, you said.
No, I'm a green card holder.
Okay, where is your child now?
They are all here.
Okay, how old are they?
All 3 of them is adults.
They're adults. So you got to start the process. You got to file I-130 visa petitions for them, and then they're going to wait a long time. But that's the process.
Excuse me. Well, 2 of them is citizen. But the other one that I'm concerned about.
Well, 2 of them are citizens, so obviously you don't have any concern for them. So you have a green card, you got 2 children who are citizens, and you got 1 adult child who's got nothing, who's living here. So as long as they're unmarried, you will file an I-130 visa petition for them. That will put them on a waiting list for a green card that is very, very long. Much longer than the screen that you're looking at right now. The waiting list goes way past this screen. Okay? But it starts the process. It takes years and years and years. Hold on. We can help. Okay? Now the other thing is this, okay, which people don't fully recognize. Just because I just told you for a mom to file for her parents, for your unmarried children over 21 is going to take a long time, doesn't mean, okay, you shouldn't do it, because you should. It also doesn't mean that, okay, well, then you're going to wait a long time and that's it. Maybe there's other options too. And that doesn't mean just because you file for your child now that they can't take advantage of something else in the future. Maybe they get married. Maybe they get a job sponsorship. Who knows? Okay, so hold on one second, all right? 1-800-529-5465. Remember, folks, if you want notification, I like saying that word, notification that I am going to be live, the Brad Show is going to be live, you have to go to the official Brad Show page and like and follow our page. And if you like and follow our page, guess what? Every time I go live, you'll say, oh, there he is, he's live. And then you can decide whether you want to watch or not. That's up to you. But if you don't get the notification, you'll never know when we go live. 1-800-529-5465. So what's the point I'm trying to say? Like and follow the page. Like and follow it. 1-800-529-5465. Rita in Queens. Rita.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. I got a question.
Yes.
So I'm a legal U.S. citizen, and I went back home, and I got married to my husband. Now, I sponsored him and brought him to the States. He's a legal permanent resident. However, our marriage isn't working out, very domestic. And I was wondering, is there any way I can get him deported back or send him back home?
Once he gets his green card, basically you're the captain of the boat until the day he gets his green card. Once he gets his green card, even if he's committing domestic abuse, you cannot deport somebody. The only person who can deport somebody is the U.S. government. So now, you want him back home and he in fact is committing domestic abuse, guess what? He's committing a crime against you. So what would anybody do who is somebody's committing a crime against somebody else? Call the police. If somebody is abusing you and you're in a domestic violence situation, you pick up the phone, you call 911, you have the police come.
Yes, I've called the cops many times, have police report, but nothing has done about it. I even have an order of protection against them.
It's very shocking because if you're in a domestic situation and you're calling from Queens, so I assume you live in New York City. In New York City, if the police come to a domestic situation, somebody's getting arrested. So
they told me that how he lives at my home and he has all rights, that if there's a problem, I need to take it to family court.
Okay, no.
Which I did.
Okay, well, those are two different things. Did you tell the police that this man is abusing you, that he physically assaulted you, then the answer is he has to be arrested. And if
I even tried to press charges on him. The cops did absolutely
Okay, well then the
nothing.
cops didn't follow their rules because the rules of New York City are, if there's a domestic dispute, I am telling you what the rules are. If there is a domestic dispute and somebody calls about a domestic dispute, the cops are not supposed to leave that domestic dispute without somebody being arrested. That's their rules.
No, they left. My landlord was even there.
Okay, then what you should do is hold on, okay? And if in fact this abuse is happening, you should be pressing charges against your husband. And guess what happens when he gets arrested? He gets convicted of domestic abuse, domestic violence, and that becomes a deportable offense. But you yourself don't deport him. But hold on, because if in fact, and I believe you, I have no reason not to believe you, if in fact this stuff is happening, you need help. So hold on one second.
I ended up going to family court, and that's how I got a restraining order against him.
Hold on one second.
Okay, thank you.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Brian in Orlando. Brian.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
What's going on?
Hey, Brad, I got a case, a VAWA case. I got it approved. I got my work permit and travel document.
Great.
But my question is, I had been in a removal proceeding before, and the case had been administratively closed. And I want to use the advance parole to travel. Can I travel?
No. Because administrative closure means you're still in you're still in deportation. You need to have your case terminated. That's different than administrative closure. Administrative closure means you're in deportation, and the judge is just not going to schedule the final hearing to actually order you deported. They're just not going to schedule it. That doesn't mean you're not in deportation. It just means like the case came to a stop. We didn't put anything on the calendar for another hearing date. And presumably he did that to figure out, because your lawyer or you went to court or whatever happened and said, hey, I'm the victim of domestic violence. Allow me to go apply for domestic violence for a green card. And if I get it, then I will come back and finish my case. So I assume you got the VAWA petition approved. You now have to go back to the court, and what you have to do is request a complete termination of your deportation to allow you to complete the green card process, and then you can travel on the advanced parole. If you travel before that, you've self-deported.
Yes, but and my thing is, right, my lawyer, she did that. She went back to the court and we applied. We went to the court, but they gave us a further date, like till 2019
Right.
to go back to get the termination.
Okay, well
So, but in the meanwhile,
then what your lawyer needs to do is make a motion to recalendar for a quicker date and give good reasons why you need to do it. You can. I mean, it's up to the discretion of the judge whether or not to do it, but that's what it is, unfortunately.
okay, now can I ask you the next question? What's the worst case? What's the worst case scenario? If you travel and when you come back here and they tell you you got to see a judge, and the same judge you're going to see, they're going to put you back to the judge.
No, the worst case scenario is they say, "Hey, pal, you self-deported, and we're sending you home. You don't get to see a judge." I'm not saying that'll happen, but yeah, that's you asked me what the worst case scenario is. That's the worst case scenario. All right, I would not recommend traveling. I would recommend making a motion to recalendar to get an earlier date. Say, hey, maybe there's some humanitarian reason why you need to travel. I don't know. Okay, hold on one second if you need help. 1-800-529-5465. Who's watching today and making comments? Oh my God, there's a lot of comments already here. I can't even go through all of this. Wow. I gotta have like eyes everywhere. Look straight at the camera, look at the comments, see who's on the phone. I have to say hi to Vakisha Taylor because she says, Brad, please say hello to me. You know, things like that. You know, I got to find out, you know, how somebody's soup is doing. I don't know what the soup's all about. You know how many people are saying hi, Sabrina? I don't know why everyone's saying hello to Sabrina. I don't know. Look at this. Look at this. Tamika Nelson, everybody. JJ Clark. I can go on. Carol, the Tiger. I could spend a whole day just going through comments and commenting about the people's comments and not do anything with immigration. I could do it. Maybe that'll be a show. I don't know. All right, let's go to George in Utah. George in Utah, how are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good.
What's going on?
It's not my real name. Just wanna.
It's not your real name. I'm going to tell you something. It's not a shock to me that George is not your real name. I will tell you the truth. I don't believe anybody says their real name when they call me. The only person who tells their real name is me. Okay, nobody else tells their real name on the show. All right, so don't worry, George. That's correct. That is correct. Right? What's going on? And you're probably not even in Utah. You're probably in Arizona. You can, right?
Yeah, but I'm in Utah.
Are you really in Utah? Okay. Fine.
Oh yeah.
All right. What's going on?
Yeah. So, I just want to ask some options. You know, because I have an attorney as well, and I was able to have a consultation and pay her for the fee, and she gave me some options. So my status is a J1 student visa, and I've been out of status.
Can I guess? Can I guess where you're from? Philippines. Yeah, I recognize the accent. Okay.
My accent.
You're on the J1. You're on a J1.
Yeah, J1 student visa, and I'm not subject for 2 years home residency, and I've been out of status since mid-November, but my attorney told me to contact some schools for reinstatement, but some schools have told me that it's not possible.
I think you had asked me that question the other day on the Facebook page, or that was somebody else?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought I heard that question before. You can reinstate on a student visa. You can certainly reinstate on a student visa. I've never heard of reinstating a J1 visa.
Okay.
What the good news is with the J1 visa is that you don't have a 10-year bar, as long as you don't go back and request anything from the Immigration Service to go put yourself back in status.
Okay. You mean 3 or 10-year bar?
Correct. So right now you don't have a 10-year bar if you were to go home to try to get another visa to come back. I'm not telling you to go do that. I'm just telling you you are in much better shape than most people who overstay their time. Now, if you go back to immigration and you ask to reinstate your status and they say no, you are now going to get a letter from them saying, sorry, your case is denied. We're not reinstating your status. at that moment of the denial, the clock starts ticking on your 3 and 10 year bar. So,
really?
So
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest doing that unless you know 100% you're going to get through, because the thing that you've got going for you is you don't have the 10-year bar. So my advice would be, I don't know what you're doing is, let's find a way to get a green card for you, and then we'll do it as quickly as possible, whether it's a job sponsorship or something else. And then you can, even if you've overstayed your time, you can go home to the Philippines and be back in 2 weeks with a green card. So hold on one second. That would be my advice, and I think you should have a consultation, okay?
So I'm able to still have a a work visa.
Not a work
like
visa.
that.
I would go straight for the green card. I would do find an employer who wants to prospectively sponsor you and go for your green card. That's what I would be doing. You could also do an H-1B visa. You can certainly do that as well, because it has a dual intent. You can do that too if you can find a work visa for somebody to hire you in a professional job on an H-1B. You can certainly do that. You have till April 1st to get that in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on one second, all right? Let's go to Veronica in San Francisco, California. Veronica.
Hello, Brad.
Hello, Veronica. How are you? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. I miss quiz.
Yeah, I do too. But you know what? It's life. It's life. Life is life, right?
Life is life.
Life is life. Gotta move on. What's going on?
Gotta move on.
What's going on?
I'm a citizen of U.S.
Right.
And I have my adult kids that I filed for. I call you a couple times. In 2011, I filed for them. And so all the paperworks are going, because I hired a lawyer from 2011. But this morning, my daughter said they emailed her, and I'm doing for 2 of them, plus my grandson. And my daughter said they sent her an email saying her birth certificate, which they're supposed to have all of that from the beginning, right?
Right.
Her birth certificate, she should send a birth certificate, because now they're going to Jamaica to do the interview. They doesn't get the data yet. They didn't have any data or anything, but it's near.
You have to. I think what they mailed to you from the National Visa Center was that for the interview you should bring the original birth certificate. I think that's what they're asking.
Oh, so
that's what they're asking.
So
that would be my. I believe, without looking at to see what they're actually texting you or emailing you or writing to you, I believe what they're saying is get all of these original documents ready, because you need to bring an original, because they have never seen an original birth certificate. An original birth certificate. They've only seen copies of it. So I think what they are saying to you is get all the originals ready, because you need to bring it to your interview.
But they didn't mention it to the other kids, my son and my grandson.
I don't know. I'm taking a guess, but I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy to look at what they're emailing you and fix whatever the problem is, but I'm guessing without actually looking at the email.
Okay. So you want me to do a?
I think have a consultation. Let me look at the email, and I'll tell you exactly what to do.
Okay. So I should email it to you then. But I don't have the email address.
Hold on. We're gonna get you all set up. Okay. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. We got Sandra in Flint, Michigan. Sandra.
Hello. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Sandra.
I have a question here. My husband, he's a U.S. citizen. He's filing for my son who is in Jamaica. But when he submits the I-130, he got a response saying that he needs to submit the I-485 also.
He got a response to submit the I-485?
The I-485 also. He needs to submit that along with I-130.
Wait. If your son's in Jamaica, you don't submit an I-485.
I'm actually looking at the document that I got from them. It says that your I-130 form is being returned to you because the eligibility you filed under requires that you file an I-485.
Okay,
also.
so then he filled out the form wrong. Because if he filled out the form wrong, so you gotta fill out the form and show that your son lives in another country. You wouldn't be filing an I-485.
Yeah, that was stated on it, because it asked if he was going to adjust status here, and we state on it, no, he's not.
I don't know. I'm just telling you that you don't do an I-45, and if they sent back and said that your eligibility, you have to file an I-45, either they're idiots at immigration, which sometimes they are, I have to admit, or you filled out the form wrong. Either way, you don't do an I-45. So if you want, what I would suggest you do is hold on, just like Veronica did. Have a consultation with us. Let's look over what you did, and then I can consult you exactly. Because without actually seeing the form, I can't tell you what you did wrong.
Okay.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on. All right. So by the way, I want to remind everybody again to get this show. You like it? You like watching this show? If you like watching this show, what you should be doing is going to the official Brad Show page on Facebook and liking and following us. Or if you're on YouTube, I can't forget YouTube people. I sometimes do. They're like second-class citizens to this Facebook thing, but they shouldn't be. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified every time we come live. Like and follow on Facebook at the official Brad Show. Subscribe to the official Brad Show on YouTube. Otherwise, you'll never know when we're on, because we get messages all the time. Hey, when you on? And I've instructed my staff to say, hey, just tell everyone to like and follow the official Brad Show page, and you'll know. And by the way, the other thing I'd like everybody to do right now is please share this with your friends and family. If they don't know yet that Belgium Kim is coming up right after I speak to Mohammed, you should tell them. Belgium Kim is coming up next. You can leave your questions on Facebook. She is the woman with all the questions. She's going to read it off to us. Sharing certainly is caring. I agree. So please share this with your friends and family right now. Take out your finger, your thumb, your pinky, and put it on your timeline. Share it to your timeline. Share this show to your friend's timeline. Share this show to friends in Messenger. Share this show to groups that you may be part of, even if it has nothing to do with immigration or law. Share it to a group you're part of. Maybe there's somebody there who may need this help as well. And of course, you can always call 1-800-529-5465 so we can help you. Let's go to Mohammed in the Bronx. Mohammed.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm very good, thank you.
I have a brief question to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did come to the U.S. through the border, and I seek for asylum. Based on that, they gave me a credible fear
interview
and I-94.
Okay, so you had an interview and they said, okay, you do have a credible fear of returning to whatever country you're from. Where are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
Okay, so now when was that?
Yeah, that was in 2014.
Okay, and have you been interviewed yet?
You mean on the credible fear?
Correct. Have you gone to immigration and had a full interview?
Yeah, that's why they gave me the credible fear. Based on the interview, they gave me the credible fear. Yeah, but when they gave me the I-94,
Mohammed, you came to the border, and you said, I got no documents, but I'm filing for asylum. I have a fear of returning home. They interviewed you at the border. They said, okay, it sounds like you have some sort of credible fear. We're going to let you come into the United States. They give you the I-94. We're going to let you come into the United States, and we're going to schedule you for a full-fledged interview where you're going to lay out your entire claim, and we're going to determine whether or not you really have a fear of returning to your home country because of past or present persecution, and you belong to a group that they are actually persecuting. Have you had that interview at immigration?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's what you're waiting on.
Yeah.
Okay, they are backed up years and years. They're backed up years and years for those interviews.
Yeah, the thing is, like after a year, I got married.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did apply for I-130 and I-485.
Okay.
And along the line, they approved the I-130, which the I-1485 is still pending.
Okay.
But I never followed the asylum case. And it's elapsed like...
All right, Mohammed. This is the Mohammed. This is the deal. You don't have an entry in the United States to adjust for the I-485, most likely. Okay? You were paroled in for asylum only, which doesn't entitle you to adjust on a marriage. So hold on one second. You're doing everything wrong. All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's find Belgium Kim. Belgium Kim. Kimmy Kim, Kim. Are you dressed for Friday night? You changed. That was not what you were wearing 30 minutes ago, but before the show started.
Brad, you know I show up in sweatpants on Friday.
Yes, right. And now you are set for Friday night. Where are you going? That you got all dressed up. Where are you going that you got all dressed up?
You know, I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to go get in some trouble tonight. I think I might go dance.
All right. For everybody who wants to get in trouble with Kimmy Kim, just send her a private message. She'll let you know where she is. She will be leading the pack and getting everybody in trouble. Make sure you have my telephone number saved for that telephone call at 2 in the morning. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. All right.
Could you come bail me out, please?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what you did. What do we got? What do we got in terms of questions and issues that everybody has?
So in terms of questions, we've got Faith who wants to know, how long does it take when a parent files for their married child?
About 12, 15 years.
Sasha says, I've seen your ads all over the place for a while, but never thought I'd have a reason to call. My case in a nutshell is this. I applied to adjust my status.
That's good marketing. You want to know why? Because she kept us in the back of her head. She kept seeing us all the time.
Exactly.
Whoever's doing this marketing is a genius.
Oh my God. They should be given a
genius. All right. What's her question?
We should law firm after them.
Yeah. What's her question?
Sasha says, my case in a nutshell is that I applied to adjust my status in May of 2016, had my interview in February of 2017. Now it's been over a year and no response from USCIS on my green card. And all I'm hearing is that it's pending. At this point, my work permit is expired, so I can't go to school.
Go renew your work permit and come see me, or come see me and I'll renew your work permit and I'll certainly follow up. Obviously, it's more than a year. It's a problem. I don't know what the problem is. It's one of three. They don't believe it's a valid application or a valid marriage if you're doing it on a marriage. Security clearances aren't clearing for some problem. You have some other reason to deny you a green card, some sort of inadmissibility issue or skeleton in your closet or fraud issue. Or 4, they just fell asleep on your case. So it's actually one of 4 options. We'll figure it out.
Rosie Boo says, my sister got approved for her 10-year green card. She's been waiting for 2 weeks now. However, someone told her that she has to go online to pay $200 in order to get it. Is there any truth to that?
It depends on how she got. If she got an immigrant visa, it's don't quote me on fees, but I think it's $165 or $185 if you got an immigrant visa in another country. If you adjusted and you came here to the United States. If it's a situation where you adjusted your status, you don't have to go online and do anything.
Dolly says, if someone's married to a U.S. citizen and lives in Florida, can they they filed for their spouse in 2016, and the person has gotten an appointment for their interview. How long do I have left on my process?
If they got the appointment for the interview, the process is on the day of the interview, everything should be fine. So tell me the day of the interview. If your interview is on Monday, I will tell you have 3 days. If your interview is a week from Monday, 3 + 7, I would tell you have 10 days. You have the answer right in front of you. That's the day of your interview. It's over. You get your green card.
So I have to read Tanya's question on YouTube.
Okay.
It's adorable. It starts with, hello, Kimmy Kim. I have 2 questions for Braddy Brad.
Who is this?
Tanya. Tanya.
Right. We need to get. We're gonna get this person, by the way. You know, like the person who does the wrestling announcing or the boxing announcement. And the next question is from Tanya. Weighing in at an even 107 pounds on YouTube. All right. What is the question?
So Tanya's question is, how long does it take for a U.S. citizen to file for his wife in Jamaica, and how long does it take for a waiver to come through?
It takes about 12, 15 months, but then the waiver's another 6 months on top of it. So probably looking at 2 years if you need a waiver, or less.
Stacy Ann wants to know, I'd like to know if the immigration laws have changed at all. I've got a relative who was married and his wife's father was an American citizen. The wife's father filed for her and they both left Jamaica in 2009, exactly 8 years after the filing started. If the laws changed, when did it change and why?
The laws have not changed. They're exactly been the same for the last 20 years. But come see me in 90 days, I may tell you they're completely changed. Because why? Because you have a madman in the White House. I can't talk about this madman anymore, but let's just say he's got very orange skin and hair. He's very orangey.
And a certain
and a certain form of orange that just makes you want to just vomit in your mouth. But that guy may change the law. We don't know yet, or certainly wants to change the law. So who knows what it'll be? But right now the laws are the same.
Kimmy Kim.
But then again, this is not a show about politics. We don't take political positions here. I would say that. I always say that. I'm like, we don't take political positions here. And then everyone goes, you take a political position every day, Brad. What are you talking about?
All the time.
All the time.
You literally call him orange.
I'm like, this is not a show about politics.
Calling him the orange guy is by definition
but
political.
It's true. I'm not being political. It's a fact. The man is orange, okay? You can't, unless there's something wrong with my television, I am telling you the man is orange. All right.
The paint samples right there.
Exactly. You know, if I went to Benjamin Moore and said, you paint my house the color of the guy in the White House, my house would be orange.
Orange house. You're right. Do you say orange or orange?
Orange.
Oh, it's orange.
It's orange. Just like the word is because.
You saw me coming a mile
right,
away.
Yes. All right, what else?
Kim says, I had a friend who wanted me to ask you something. She married a U.S. citizen and got her 2-year green card, but it is now up and she can't find her husband, so she needs to know what to do.
Get divorced and prove it was a real marriage. You don't need him as long as you get divorced.
Nishay says, I want to know when you're filing, how long does it take to get through? I also did a DNA test almost 2 years ago now. How long after I do that test?
Who sponsored Miss Shea? I just had like a flashback to third grade because Miss Shea was my third grade teacher. But she had to have been in her 60s. So now I'm 49. That means if this is the same Miss Shea who was my third grade teacher, this woman has won the Guinness Book of World Records. I don't think. For a second I said, I wonder if that's Mrs. Shea, my third grade teacher, but then it's not.
Also, this woman's name is Nushay.
Oh, Nushay. So this has nothing to do. Okay, fine. All right. And what is I just had a flashback. I'm like, Mrs. Shea was my third grade teacher. She made me cry all the time. She was miserable lady. I didn't bring my coat, my shoes were untied, my handwriting was bad, I didn't do my homework, everything I did was wrong to Mrs. Shea. She made me miserable my whole third grade. The worst year of my life, third grade. Fourth grade was fabulous. Third grade was terrible.
Well, first of all, if your life low was in the third grade, you're doing okay.
My life low was third grade. It went straight up from there, okay? Third grade wasn't great, but after that, it's been pretty good.
Also, I feel like if you didn't do your homework, Mrs. Shea was kind of allowed to yell at you.
Yeah, but she could like say some other things, and she didn't have to make me feel bad that I had bad handwriting.
That's true. That's true. That's mean.
That was mean. That was very mean, Mrs. Shea.
Official Shea.
May she rest in peace. Because there's no way this woman is alive. Okay.
We're completely bad-mouthing a dead woman.
Yeah, I'm bad-mouthing a dead woman. I mean, there's no way this woman's alive. But, because she was an old lady when I was in third grade. All right, what's the question now? I lost my track.
Nishay gave us, I think, not enough information, but maybe you can decipher. Okay. Nishay wants to know, when you're on a filing, how long is it going to take to get through after they did their DNA test almost 2 years ago?
When you're on a filing, how long will it take to get through if they did their DNA test?
Yes.
Who's filing for who?
We have no idea.
Well, the DNA test should have come through already. Then I-130 should have been approved already. And if it hasn't, then she should be calling me.
Official Shade says, my husband is waiting for an interview date for citizenship. His priority date is May 31st of 2017. Is that waiting time normal? He's in Texas and I'm in the UK. Should I wait until he has his citizenship to file my I-130?
No, file the I-130 now. And if he's been waiting on his citizenship for over a year and a half, or maybe he's about a year into it now, he should have gotten an interview already. He should be filing an I-130 for you anyway. By the way, Mrs. Shade was not any of my teachers. I never had a teacher by the name of Shade.
None of your teachers
none of
was
my teachers was
Mrs.
Shade. Okay.
Only a really mean one named Mrs. Shea.
Yeah, third grade. I'm gonna go find. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna go find that picture.
You need
You
to.
have
And
the class picture. I look so unhappy in that class picture. I was always smiling in all my class pictures except third grade. Miserable.
I literally can't believe that you are standing by the fact that third grade still the worst year of your life.
Right, and then yeah, it was. Let's continue.
Marge wants to know: is it okay to collect benefits while and can it be looked at that you're going to be dependent on the government?
What depends what the benefits are. If the benefits are means tested, which is a legal term. Means tested means that you get this benefit because your income falls below a certain level, then the answer is yes, that's a problem for immigration. If it's not a means tested benefit, then you're okay. I'll give you a perfect example. Collecting unemployment benefits is not means tested. It doesn't matter what your income is, everybody's entitled to unemployment benefits. Here's another non-means tested benefit. Disability payments. You get disabled on the job. It doesn't matter what your income was. It doesn't matter what your salary was. You are entitled to the disability payment. It had nothing to do with the fact that your income was below a certain level. Take the opposite. Food stamps. Okay, you get food stamps. You're not giving food stamps to Ivanka Trump. She makes too much money. But they'll give, so it's a means tested program. So it depends what the program is.
Got it. So Tamika has a question for a friend. The friend got married in Jamaica, but the husband got locked up and now it's on his record. He tried to get it expunged, but they told him that it would not be off his record until October of this year. Is there any other step that can be done?
Expunged? Expunged doesn't help you. Vacating does. So you need to speak to me. Do some steps right now by calling me. Whenever anybody says I'm going to fix my immigration problem by expunging my criminal record, you have totally not done the right thing. There's a big difference between expungement, vacator, dismissal. Those are all legal terms.
Nishay sent a follow-up. She says, it's me again. My dad is actually filing for me. He's a citizen in the U.S., and she did the DNA test. They got back the results.
If you submitted to immigration 2 years ago and you still haven't gotten an approval, come see me. Or have your dad come see me. That's the answer.
Carla says, I filed for divorce in January in New York. How long is the process to receive my divorce decree in an uncontested divorce?
New York County or New York State? Different counties are different time periods. Like I'll tell you, if you file in the Bronx an uncontested divorce, you are going to wait a very long time. The Bronx is backed up like 9, 10, 11 months.
Really?
New York County is about 6 months. Nassau is backed up far. You live in Rensselaer County, which is way up in the middle of nowhere in New York State. The judge's got nothing to do. Maybe they get 3 divorces in a month. I have no idea. I don't know what the number, but it can't be many. So you get divorced very fast. So it depends what county it is. Now, when you're doing an uncontested divorce in New York, you get to pick the county as long as there's nothing to fight over. So even if you live in the Bronx, you can pick any county you want to do your divorce as long as it's uncontested. If it's contested, different story. So pick fast counties.
Oh, you get to choose which county handles even if you don't live in that county?
Yeah, if it's uncontested, yeah. Even if it's contested, but if it's contested, you can pick, you live in New York County or Manhattan, you can pick Rensselaer County in a contested divorce, but you want to know what the judge is going to kick it back to Manhattan. They're going to be like, well, I'm not handling this contested divorce. But if it's just on papers and nothing else, they'll sign it.
Awesome. Marky Bent says, my EAD card is going to expire in May of this year, but I'm still waiting for my interview for my green card. When can I put in for a renewal for my EAD?
90 days before the expiration.
Bryden says, how long does it take to file for mom?
If you're a citizen and mom's in another country, about 12 to 15 months.
Myra on YouTube says...
By the way,
yes.
I read something interesting yesterday about filing for mom. This is like this chain migration that Trump wants to end. You know, like somebody comes here on a visitor's visa, for example, okay, and they work without status on a visitor's visa. And let's say they hide the fact that they worked without status on the visitor's visa, they worked without permission from immigration, they hid it. And ultimately they got a work visa and then lived here for years, on a work visa, and then married, found some old rich dude to marry, and marries this old rich dude and gets a 2-year conditional green card, and then goes back and gets a permanent green card because he's still married to the old rich dude. And then 3 years later becomes a U.S. citizen because they're in a bona fide marriage with the old rich dude. Now the person who got their, originally came on a tourist visa to work visa to 2-year green card to permanent green card to citizen now wants to file for their family. This is what Trump calls chain migration. So now you're a U.S. citizen and you want to file for mom or dad from the same country you came from. And that's what this question is. And 12 to 15 months later, mom and dad come with their green card. Now, you know who just did that? Who was I just describing?
I think I have an answer.
You got an answer?
Call on me. I
Yes.
have an answer.
You in the social media room.
Is that Melania Trump?
It is Melania Trump. Ding, 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 ding. Melania Trump did exactly what Trump doesn't want anybody else to do. What a hypocrite.
Oh my God.
All right.
Blew my mind when I read that.
Yes.
Also not that surprising, but blew my mind.
Right. Let's continue.
Myra says...
So, I mean, it's okay if the Trumps do that. Nobody else is allowed.
Speaking of parents-in-law,
Uh-huh.
just so you know, you have now been dubbed a father-in-law.
Who am I the father-in-law of?
You are Vakisha Taylor's father-in-law.
I am.
Because she's just waiting for your son to be old enough to marry, so that she.
Let me call Zach now and see,
And when somebody started messing with her in the comments, when Tamika started messing with her in the comments, Vakisha said, "Remember that my father-in-law is a lawyer, so don't let me have him call you." So just so you know.
All right, so when Zach goes down to Jamaica, he's in a lot of trouble.
This dating show has now
gone. All right. Wait, who just called the other day and said, my husband doesn't want me to watch this anymore because he thinks it's a big dating site? There was Natalie, right? It was Natalie, right? Yeah.
Can't blame her. We've got Bernadette who wants to know. I'm asking for help in petitioning for me by my son, who's a U.S. citizen living in Texas. He's going to be 21 this coming June of 2018. Can I go ahead and file now? And how much should we prepare? What's the damage going to be?
File nothing till he's a citizen, and he's 21. You got to have both. Do not file anything. If you're in the United States, you're going to pay a filing fee of $1,760. Damage. I'm going to be a lawyer. It'll be a little more. Worth it. Give me a call. What else?
Ranks says, my friend's 2-year temporary green card expired back in September of 2015, and the case is still in review for the 10-year green card. Is that normal?
Well, 3 years is way too long. Come see me. Not normal. Not normal. Abby normal.
Abby normal.
Abby normal. If you know where that's from.
You've told me this before, and I keep forgetting every time.
You'll think about it. It's Abby normal.
Thank God. If only I had some sort of something where I could type in a term and it would give me exactly what it meant.
Just type in Abby normal movie quote and you'll figure it out.
I'll be ready.
Okay.
Myra says, if my husband filed for me and 3 of my kids that aren't his, he filed the I-130 and I-485 in September of 2017, but he is verbally abusive and doesn't want to attend the interview. What can be done?
Well, you can't force the guy to go on the interview, but verbal abuse could be extreme emotional abuse. So we need to have a conversation and see what that's all about. And then you can do it on your own.
Demba wants to know, if you filed for your wife and son, is your son going to have to do a DNA test before they get approved, even though he's just 4 years old?
If you file for your wife and son, does he have to do a DNA test? What do you mean? Why is his son doing a DNA test? For who?
Well, that's the question. Does dad that is filing for mom and son, is dad going to have to do a DNA test to prove that his son is his when he's filing for him?
No, as long as he's married to the mother, no.
Do Feliz says, I've got 2 paperless girlfriends who have been here for about 8 years without immigrant. I'm going to go with friends that are girls. I know what your question is.
No, I was more like paperless. So I was thinking like, is this like a digital thing going on now? Like this, virtual girl. I have 2 virtual girlfriends. They don't really exist. That's what went in my head first, and then I'm like, oh, paperless means they don't have green cards. All right, so she has 2 friends. So maybe the man he's dating 2 different women. Okay, and they don't know about each other, and he's able to be suave and be able to do it, I guess. I don't know.
So here's the thing, because we've got some sort of like throuple foursome situation happening. Because here's the question.
Right.
I've got two paperless girlfriends.
Right.
They've been here about 8
I love that.
They have no paper.
No paper.
No matter where you are.
Wherever you are. All right. The answer is go to Staples and get some paper for these girlfriends.
Order a
Reba paper right now. Jill, get to the copy machine. All right. Let's go. All right.
They have both been here. We crack ourselves up, and we crack ourselves up. We crack each other up.
Hello, Staples. We got no paper.
As a matter of fact, we have a paper supplier. We'll set you up.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. We're good. All right. So the 2 girlfriends have no green card.
2 girlfriends have no green card, and they've been here for about 8 years.
Okay.
Joe Felice says, handyman used to be a sailor who jumped ship. Same problem.
Wait, who jumped ship?
Joe Felice says handyman.
Okay, so what is he saying about his 2 paperless girlfriends?
So he has 3 friends, all who are here out of status.
Okay, 2 paperless girlfriends and a guy who jumped ship and made his way to Hong Kong. He got a job as a looper.
I think you're thinking of the wrong movie, Brad.
Yes. He got a job as a looper. You know what that is? It's a caddy. It's a caddy.
A caddy?
A caddy. According to Bill Murray in Caddyshack, it is.
Oh, I see what... I just got there.
All right, continue. I'm bad movie quotes. Continue. All right, we got to get through this because we have a lot to do, actually.
That's true. Mm-hmm. So basically, we've got 3 people here that are Joe Felice's friends that are out of status, and Joe Felice wants to know, what does he do with his out of status? Is there any way
he can marry one of the girlfriends, whoever he's in love with?
Pick your favorite.
The other 2 need to figure it out. I don't know. So the answer is, I got 3 people who need green cards. They all need consultations after we've gone through all of that. What do I know?
That's a fair question.
Yeah. How many more we got? Because we have a lot to do here still.
We've got about 6 more.
All right, let's go quickly. 6.
Okay. DD says, how long does asylum take with a paid lawyer?
Years. Although if you do it right now, the ones that are done right now are going to be a couple of months. The ones that have been pending for a while are going to take a longer time. But it's not about the length of time for the asylum. It's make sure you get your asylum claim right. What is a good asylum claim is a detailed, you got to be credible. And credibility all comes down to details.
So, Lemjed, I'm sorry, on YouTube, wants to know, I'm in the process of waiting for my asylum court date, which has been pushed back until 2020. Is it possible for me to visit my mother who is sick in another country that is not my birth country while I'm waiting for my asylum interview in 2020?
You're not going to get a travel document, I'm sorry.
Ugh, that's heartbreaking. Steven says, my mother wants to file for me. She's a U.S. citizen. I'm over 21, and I believe that we overstayed a tourist visa in 2000. Can she go ahead and file for me?
Yes, and you're going to wait a while, but the answer is yes, she should.
Olive says, I just came across your channel a few minutes ago.
Oh, good.
And my question is, I'm a U.S. citizen and I've got 2 adult children and a 9-year-old granddaughter. I'm about to file for my 2 sons. Do I have to file the I-130 for my granddaughter as well?
No, as long as the sons are over 21, the grandchild will be included.
We've got World GK that says, I'm Rahul from India. I filed for my brother and sister-in-law in January of 2006. How much longer do I have to wait?
They're up to February 1st, 2004. 2 more years.
2 more years. And Natalie says, I'm married to a U.S. citizen and I'm adjusting my status. I have submitted my I-864, my I-765, my I-130, my I-131, and my I-485. Do I submit all of the evidence now, like the passports and the postcards and the trips that we took together, joint bank?
No, you do that at the interview.
We wait?
Do that at the interview.
Perfection. That's all we've got for right now.
Okay, Kim. I have Omar, who's been waiting 30 minutes to talk to me. So he's dying to talk to me. I got Dolly, who's waiting over 20 minutes to talk to me, and then we're going to go to our guests, and then we're going to come back to you at the end. So anybody who didn't get their questions in or wants to get a question, leave it on Facebook right now on the official Brad Show page. Leave it on YouTube on the official Brad Show page. Please tell your friends to tell a friend to share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we're here to answer your immigration questions, your legal issues. And if you want to know when we're going to be live, we're going to be back live. We're going to be here for another 45 minutes, but we're going to be live every day, Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 7:30. You want to be notified, please like and follow us on the official Brad Show page. Please subscribe on YouTube on the official Brad Show page. And Kim, we're going to come back to you at the end of the show with more questions. Thanks. Let's go to Omar in Irvington, New Jersey. Omar.
Okay. How you doing, Brad?
How you doing?
Doing good.
What's going on?
I get my 10-year green card since last month.
Mm-hmm.
I get my 10-year green card since last month, right?
Right.
And my wife want to go through a divorce process with me. She want to divorce me. You think that would show up any red flag if like 2 more years from now I want to do my citizenship?
It's possible that the divorce happened 1 month after you got your 10-year permanent green card, but I mean, stuff happens. Certainly, they will probably ask questions, I'm sure, but as long as it was a real marriage and bona fide, and you have reasons why it was real and bona fide, and now it broke up, then so be it. It's just, they're going to say the timing seems to be odd, which obviously is why you're asking. But if you want to have a consultation and go through all the facts, I'm happy to talk with you. So hold on 1 second, okay, Omar?
Oh, hold on, bro. One more question.
What?
Yeah. How long after you get the 2 year?
Mm-hmm.
How long you take to get the 10-year green card?
You got a 2-year green. So let's say you get the 2-year green card on February 1st, 2018. Okay, so you get a 2-year green card which expires February 1st, 2020. Then sometime in January 2020, you would have to file to remove the conditions, which is the I-751 to get the 10-year, and that's going to be another 18 months from the time that you file.
Okay, 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right? Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Hold on. All right, let's go to Dolly in Queens. Dolly.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I got a question.
Yes.
A friend of mine is married to this guy. He lives in Florida. He's a U.S. citizen. He filed for her in 2016, and now she has an appointment letter for interview. Is that how long it takes, or something is wrong?
February 2016, and now they're going 2 years later?
Yeah. Now she's getting an interview.
I mean, I don't know if it's wrong or not, but it certainly shouldn't have taken 2 years.
Okay.
All right. So maybe they want to have a consultation with me. I don't know what they did and what it should. If you do everything right, it should be about 9 months.
Okay. The person, my friend is in Guyana. The fiance is in Florida.
Oh, maybe that's why then. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I sometimes when you're doing I-130s, it does take that long. When you have good lawyers like me, it should be shorter. But yeah, sometimes it does take that long. All right.
All right, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good luck, and if there's a problem, let me know.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to come back to Kimmy Kim Kim at the end of the show. So if you do have any questions, please leave them on Facebook on The Official Brad Show or on YouTube on The Official Brad Show. Please subscribe on YouTube. You will be notified when we come live. Please subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook on The Official Brad Show. You will know every day when we come alive. Or we come live. We don't come alive. I'm alive every day. So at the event, you may remember, for those who've watched the show on a regular basis, you may remember about 6 or 8 weeks ago, we did, in the Shooting the Breeze segment, a woman who was riding her bicycle along in Virginia, and the Trump motorcade came by, and she gave the finger to Trump as he was driving by, and ultimately she lost her job. And then you may remember maybe about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, also on Shooting the Breeze, there was a guy, an American citizen, who was working at the State Labor Department in Montana. And the State Labor Department was requested by ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, to notify them of every illegal immigrant who makes any claim for any labor law or wage violations in the state of Montana. And he ultimately quit his job, and he ultimately lost his pension because he ultimately did not want to be a snitch. He didn't want his job or the government to be spying or snitching on other people, hardworking people. I was able earlier yesterday to speak with both of them, and it's interesting that, you know, we talked about each of their stories on Shooting the Breeze. But what's interesting is that both of their stories come full circle, and now they kind of met as a result of their issues. Let's watch. With us today is Jordan Deirdre Roberts. You may remember him. In Shooting the Breeze a few weeks ago, we talked about him. He was working as a secretary in the Labor Department in Montana for the State Department of Labor in Montana, and they were asked to flag people that they came across in the Labor Department who were working illegally and forward that information to ICE to pick them up in Montana. When Jordan was made aware that he was the person who had to flag the immigrants who were working out of status and notify immigration to have them arrested, he went and protested and ultimately quit his job. We talked about him a few weeks ago. We have him on now. Jordan Deirdre Roberts, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Good. So I told a little bit about what happened. I'm sure you're going to be able to expand on that a lot. But tell us a little bit about your family's immigration history, because you became this, sensation on the internet and the press for basically protecting immigrants. Are you an immigrant?
No. I have relatives who came over on the Mayflower. And I've got some more, slightly more recent Italian immigrant family, but
maybe 8 generations ago. You're about as entrenched. Your family is entrenched here with the Pilgrims and the Founding Fathers. So you didn't think when you woke up, a few months ago, that you would be in the center of an immigration debate protecting immigrants. How did that hit you personally?
Well, so when I was just told, oh, keep an eye out for these ICE subpoenas. And it took me a while to realize what that meant, because I couldn't figure out initially why ICE would be in Montana.
What were the ICE subpoenas? In other words, you were working for the State Labor Department?
Yeah, State Labor Department as a legal secretary for the Legal Services Division. So they represent the department in whatever legal matters, wage disputes, whatever side the department took.
And also, if somebody was doing a job sponsorship, they would have to get a prevailing wage for that job?
Exactly.
Right. So every time somebody was doing a job sponsorship, the State Labor Department would get involved. Or they came across any sort of wage dispute with somebody who may have been out of status.
Oh, well, it's in just general wage disputes, we handle things like somebody not getting their last paycheck because their boss was an unpleasant person.
Right. So anybody who would bring a claim to ask the Labor Department to assist them because the Labor Department's there to assist the U.S. worker, and then if you were found that you were assisting a worker who is undocumented, the state Labor Department, this is the state of Montana, said, go call ICE.
Well, it's a little bit different because the department has a lot of information from all these cases and stuff, and this was ICE asking for parts of that information. So basically, the way I thought what I thought was going to happen, because I had tapped out before this most recent round of subpoenas came across my desk, was that they would be comparing whatever information we gave them to something they had and be like, oh, this person is, undocumented. Let's go pick them up. And my job as legal secretary was going to be, I would take that subpoena, pass it on to the attorney. They'd contact whatever division they were asking for information from, and then they would direct that information to me. And my job would have been to, package it nicely. However, if it was a small document request, I could just mail it as a single page. Or if it was a bulk request, it would have been,
all the information that you have about this person at the state Labor Department, their name, their date of birth, their address, where they're working, make it as easy as possible for immigration and customs enforcement to go knock on this guy's door or lady's door or at their place of employment and go pick them up and deport them, basically.
Yeah, I would be the point person. So I would have done the cover letter, signed my name, like, here you go, ICE.
Right. So they were basically asking you at the state Labor Department to be a snitch for ICE. Your job was not legal secretary. They said your job is now snitch. You tell ICE every person who's working here undocumented, ICE will go pick it up. You're the snitch. And they won't even know that it's coming from you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. ICE co-opted the department as an intelligence gathering apparatus.
Right.
I was comfortable with that for a lot of reasons. When you give information to the Department of Labor, you assume it's going to be used for labor-related issues. We might share it with the federal Department of Labor.
Right.
But there's no assumption that it's going to be used for immigration.
Right. So now you're not only a snitch, you're an intelligence gatherer for the U.S. government. You may be even giving information to ICE to say, go pick up this undocumented person, and maybe they're an American citizen for all you know. ICE is relying on you to go tell them who's undocumented. The legal secretary at the State Department of Montana. God knows how many people maybe they picked up who may have been legal. Because I've seen that happen many times.
Well, and it's one of the things where even now, when they're supposedly focusing on undocumented workers, I mean, you can see they're going for naturalized citizens next. So it's that was part of my objection, was it's not going to stop with It wasn't white middle-aged male Americans like yourself. They were minorities, darker skinned, people with names that may not be Smith or Johnson, right? Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you a question. So now they're asking you to do all of this, and you may have even been doing this unwittingly for a while. You may not have been aware. And when you did find out that you were doing all of this, what did you do?
Well, so I'll run down real quick. So it was Tuesday afternoon. Attorney stops by my desk. I'm in the middle of something else. Says, keep an eye out for some ICE subpoenas tomorrow. I hear subpoenas tomorrow and just sort of continue about my day. And then it wasn't until later that it sort of clicked in my brain that ICE, immigration. Okay, wait a second. So the next morning, I go in, I give my wife a real quick phone call, and I say, I might be asked to process these subpoenas for ICE. I don't think I can do that. I was expecting there to be a bit of a conversation, but without a moment's hesitation, she just said, okay, and that was it.
Now, have you ever done any social activism before, or is this the first thing it hit you in your conscience and you said, you know what, I can't do this. I can't send people home.
I mean, I've attended a couple marches. I've called senators for stuff, but never something on this level. I wasn't thinking of it as a social activism act at the time. At most, I thought I might be able to convince some people in the department to sort of reassess what we were doing. I had not realized this would become a social
Media
activism.
sensation. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, so now people are calling you a hero. You quit your job. You took a stand against this. Now, the state of Montana is still doing this. I assume somebody took your job and they're contacting ICE. But you took a stand, and nobody knew that that state labor departments are ratting out workers who make claims against their bosses for unfair treatment, that if they're undocumented. And now you have brought this to not only attention of the state of Montana, but the entire United States. And some people are calling you a hero. What do you think about being called a hero?
So when I did this, I was making a pretty personal decision, and I hadn't really anticipated it taking off like this. And I have some issue with the word hero, just because I think when people look for a hero, they're looking for somebody else to do something. They're looking for someone to save them. And what I did was, I just did sort of what I thought you were supposed to do. You do not collaborate with the authoritarian regime. And so
you don't hurt other people. You don't hurt other people if you cannot.
Yeah, it's just sort of what you're supposed to do. And so that the word here gives me a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling, just because I expect this shouldn't be heroic. This should be what you do when you're asked to, to
do something wrong.
Out.
When you're asked to do something wrong, there should be a normal person's reaction, a reasonable person's reaction. When you're asked to do something wrong and you're asked to hurt strangers that are doing nothing wrong here, this should be a normal reaction. Unfortunately, it's not. And I think that's why people are calling you a hero, especially you yourself are not an immigrant. You have said your family came here basically, if it wasn't the Mayflower, it was the next ship after the Mayflower. And as a result of this, you have made a discussion and made this information available that otherwise would never have been known. Now, the state of Montana came out and said, what's the big deal? They've been doing this for years. They've been ratting people out for years. What do you have to say about that?
Well, so it's more than possible that previously, like, something had come across my desk and, a lot of paperwork just came across my desk. So I might have passed something on without realizing it, just because sometimes when you get a subpoena, it doesn't necessarily say like, hi, this is from immigration. Like it could, depending on who's asking for it, how it might be labeled, it might not instantly come off as relating to immigration. Had that attorney not said ICE subpoenas, it's possible I could have just pushed the paperwork across my desk, send it off, and when it came back to me, send it out without
even knowing. It was the word ICE subpoena that caught your attention.
Yeah.
Right. You said, wait a second. Whoa, subpoena, ICE, what's going on here? Now, you worked there for 10 years. You gave up a very good government job that you would have been there for the rest of your life. You gave up potentially a huge pension when you retired. I don't know what your deal with your pension after either getting fired or quitting after 10 years. How did you said your wife said okay. She supported you. You have children as well. What did you say to your daughter? How did she react? And how did people react to you saying, how could you quit a job and now you can't support a family? You have children to support. How could you do that to your children?
Well, it's so that was an interesting conversation to have with a toddler.
How old is your daughter, by the way?
Gonna be 4. So it was after sending out the tweets, after having dinner with my in-laws, and I hadn't been checking Twitter after that, and so we're in the car driving back home, and I'm trying to explain, all right, kiddos, so things are gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little more difficult. We're gonna have to make some, tough choices, because Dada had to make a hard choice, and I had to say, I couldn't. I was asked why, so I asked. I couldn't help break up families, and give it to a toddler's understanding of how the world works. Why would anybody want to break up families?
Right.
That's sad.
Exactly.
And that leveled me. It was like, okay, I have the support of my kid. My kid is behind me 100% right now. All right. And then this was before I realized that a lot more people were behind me. And well, the thing was, I couldn't have expected this to take off the way it did, because
after you quit, you put out a tweet, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's how we originally found out about you, because people were retweeting it, and we talked about you on our show a few weeks ago about it. So, so the reaction on Twitter, I assume, and on social media and strangers has been both positive and negative. How has that reaction been to you? How do you feel people's reaction has been?
It's overwhelmingly positive. I mean, I've gotten a few trolls, but they are fewer in number and far less articulate than the people who've been supporting me and telling me. Yeah, generally how it is.
We get a few trolls on the Brad Show too. They're always less articulate than the people we're helping.
Yeah, so it's I'm dealing just fine with the negative reaction, because there really hasn't been that much. I mean, even in Montana, you have people who will say, well, I don't support your idea, but the fact that you stood by it enough to quit your job, okay. So, I mean, it's...
Because you have principle. You took a stand and you have principles, and you said, you know what, we're not going to hurt these people. It's wrong. And people say, and when they see that there's somebody who you have no stake in the game. It's not your family. It's not your relatives. You're not a politician. You're not on television as a pundit. You have no stake in the game. This was just done because as a human being, you said we shouldn't be doing this to another human being. And I think, how could anybody possibly argue against you for that? Now,
go
ahead.
I was a public servant. I was serving the public. Granted, that time it required me to not do the job I had been given, but I mean, I was serving the public to the best of my ability. It, just didn't quite work out the way I had wanted it to.
Now what? Okay, true. Now, what are you doing lately? How are you supporting yourself now?
I've received a lot of support. There was a GoFundMe. People donated stuff to PayPal. I've been humbled by the level of support I've gotten. It's given me a chance to, instead of right now scrambling to find the next job that will give me a paycheck, I am now looking for a way that I can do the most good with this opportunity.
What you've been given. You have a platform, and you have people donating money to you. So you want to obviously do good with that. Now, interestingly enough, you know what I'm going to say, is on our show, around the same time that you had quit your job at the state labor department in Montana for not wanting to snitch on immigrants, there was a woman who was also an internet sensation. She was riding her bicycle, and we talked about this on our show as well. And there she is giving, this is the Trump motorcade. We're not sure which car Donald Trump is in, but there she is on her bicycle. Her name is Julie Briskman, and she gave Trump the finger. And she also became somewhat of a internet sensation. This is Julie Briskman. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming on. And why this all comes together, because people are saying, well, how did this all come together? Is because Julie, when she found out what Jordan did, was, besides being the one who flipped off Trump, she is the one who started the GoFundMe campaign for Jordan. You started the GoFundMe campaign without ever speaking to Jordan, I understand?
I did, yep. I started the GoFundMe before we actually spoke. And I just want to address, I know that Jordan's being really humble about being called a hero, but Brad, I think you nailed it on the head when you said he's a hero because he had no stake in the game. No stake in the game and did the right thing anyway, without knowing what was going to happen, without any safety net underneath him. And when I saw that he did that, and saw the tweet that he was quitting his job and F ICE, I thought this guy is a hero and he needs our support.
So after you started the GoFundMe campaign, you were able to get it off the ground because you were a bit of an internet sensation too, with the photo with the finger. How much money did you think you were going to raise, and how much money did you raise for Jordan?
I wasn't really sure. I mean, I put a goal up there of raising $50,000 for Jordan and his family, and right now we're almost at $40,000. I'm excited to say, so we're just about to our goal.
So how did it feel that, let's get to your story for a second, and then we'll get how you met Jordan and everything. How did it feel? I mean, you're a private citizen. You're not also a politician, I believe, or anything. You're a bicyclist, and Donald Trump just happens to be driving by you. I mean, did you know he was going to be driving by you? Did you give any thought to giving him the finger ahead of time? Was this just something that just was spontaneous? And who actually took this photo of you?
The photograph was taken by an AFP pool reporter. It was not premeditated. It was just a gut reaction. And I think that's a big difference between Jordan and I, and one of the reasons this resonated with me so much. I mean, I was thrust into this because I gave my opinion the only way I knew how to this guy going by in the motorcade. But Jordan, again, he's a hero because he thought about it. Really thought in my heart, I can't do this anymore, and I know this is going to, affect my ability to pay my mortgage. It's going to affect my ability to save for my kids' college, but I'm going to do the right thing anyway.
Now, this was a gut reaction that you did. You didn't expect anyone to take a photograph of it. You didn't expect it to do anything to your life whatsoever. You were not expecting anybody, the pool reporter, to take the photograph. You weren't expecting this to go viral. Now, ultimately, when this did, it did affect your life because you lost your job. You had, I guess, a nice job working at a company, and they fired you as a result of this photograph. Is that correct?
That's correct. My photograph went viral before I really even identified myself. I went to my company and told them that it was me. And they basically said, well, you're allowed to ride your bike, and if media is calling, don't talk to them on company time. And I said, okay, great. I still hadn't really decided if I'm going to identify myself. The next day, almost exactly 24 hours later, they fired me.
And what was the reason that they said they fired you?
They said they fired me because I violated their social media policy.
Even though you had nothing to do with it?
Yes.
It wasn't your tweet. How did you react to that when you got fired? What was
I was shocked.
You were shocked.
Unbelievable to me because I had kind of gone to them for advice. I had put the photograph on a couple of my social medias, but I never identified myself as working for that company. And the reaction I got when I initially told them about it was not, oh, go take it off right now. Go get rid of it. It was, oh, well, just don't talk to the media on company time. So the next day when I was fired, I was completely shocked. I was floored. I was driving home thinking, how much money do I have in my savings account? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to, I've got 2 kids myself. And so it was shocking and very upsetting.
Now, this just happened recently. So what have you been doing since you've gotten fired? Have you looked for another job? Have you looking to take legal action against your employer? Have you looked to be an activist? I know you started the GoFundMe campaign. Tell us what you're doing right now.
Fortunately, also for me, once folks heard that Acoma did not fire another person without seeing social media content, and they did fire me, there was a GoFundMe for me as well. So just like Jordan, I've had some breathing room to figure out what I'm going to do. I picked up some project work. I launched my website, and I'm exploring job opportunities, and I am exploring legal options as well.
So for Jordan, this is almost in a way a pay it forward to you, or is it just more of this is a guy who had no stake in the game, just like you kind of in a way. You didn't look to make this public or publicity. It just kind of hit you more than you tried to do it. and you kind of just said this is a guy who deserves some help as well.
It was absolutely a pay it forward situation. I have felt so overwhelmed and humbled and grateful for what folks have done for me, and I saw that $5, $10, if you multiply that by thousands of people, you can make a real difference. And I was hoping, crossing my fingers, that this would be something good for Jordan and that I could pay that forward to him.
Well, you certainly did, for sure. Now, let me ask you a question. You also have a family. What was you have two teenagers. What was their reaction to all of this? And not only, you giving the finger to the Trump motorcade, it going viral and you ultimately losing your job.
So most of my family, we are not big Trump fans. So when I actually went past the motorcade later in that day, I tweeted on our family group chat, I just got to flip off the president, ha, ha, ha. And that was it. And then later, when it kind of started to go viral, the kids were getting a little bit nervous. But locally, people were supportive about it. And the kids started to hear about it in the school, and so they were fine with it. They were very afraid when I got fired, and I did tell them a couple of days later. I was waiting for after my daughter's birthday. They were very nervous about that. But when I told them about the unequal treatment, they were fired up.
Now, let me ask you a question now, because let's bring you back with Jordan there. Okay. How did you guys end up, you started the GoFundMe for Jordan. How did you guys end up talking, and have you ever met?
I'll take that, Jordan, if you don't mind. We had never met. I saw him on Twitter. I kind of trolled his Facebook a little bit. I sent him a couple messages and didn't get a response. So I'm a former daily newspaper reporter, so I thought, all right, you know what? I'm going to get a hold of this guy no matter what. So I started doing a little investigating. I was able to find his phone number at work, and they forwarded me to his desk, but it kept getting bounced back. So then I found his mother-in-law. Just doing some research, I connected the last names, and I called up, and I'm like, do you by chance know Jordan Deardahl Roberts? And she's like, yes, that's my son-in-law. And we had a lovely conversation, and she told me how supportive they were of him and how much trouble a country can get into if people just follow orders. You can't just follow orders, or we go down this authoritarian, slippery slope, and before you know it,
it's Germany in World War II. Yeah. I mean, it'll never get there, but that's what happened with Germany in World War II. So now we have two people who did not look for the limelight, and now have become somewhat of a platform for social conscience, for political thought, for, hey, something's wrong here in the United States of America, from two different perspectives, but similar ideas. What do each of you plan on doing, if anything? Do you want to get into politics? Do you want to get into more social activism, or are each of you doing this on a day-by-day basis and see how it goes?
I'm talking to people. I've been doing a lot of writing for various places, and I'm hoping that what I can do is, with this attention and this spotlight, be able to sort of shine it back on, there's a problem right now in this country. While the comparison isn't one-to-one comparison, there's several very uncomfortable historical parallels we're facing right now. You have a historically unfairly maligned group.
Immigrants, minorities, yes.
Yeah, facing this scapegoating tactic.
Correct.
Being told,
the problems of America are because of you.
Because of you.
Right.
And we're watching ICE kind of becoming Gestapo 2.0, hunting these people down. And so I'm hoping that while there's a tension here right now, we can sort of say, people have to do something now. Because when this happened, I didn't think it was going to become a thing, because nobody outside of Montana cares about what happens in Montana. Like, occasionally people forget that we're a state and they think we're part of Canada.
I hate to say it, but you're the most exciting thing that happened in Montana all year. You know, they don't call it the fly me over state for nothing, right? Or at the flyover state.
So, but now that people are paying attention, I'd like to get people to do something. Like we've had marches, we've had demonstrations, but part of the problem is I don't think the administration or the Republicans in Congress right now, I don't think they're capable of guilt or shame. So you can show up with all sorts of numbers and they will just, skip town for a couple days and then come back and keep doing what they're doing.
Of course.
So I think if I can do anything now that I have this platform, it's to tell people it's time for more than marches, civil disobedience. It's time for more people to just say no, because the only reason this administration keeps marching forward is everyone they're waiting for something to happen. They're waiting for the next election. They're waiting in hopes that it's not going to get that bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of complacement, I guess is the word, and people think, okay, we'll vote them out next time. But meanwhile, a lot of bad things are happening every day, and you are the one who's presented it and shown it. You ended your career as you know it because of this, and that's what makes you a hero. Julie, what are your plans for the future?
I am aligning myself with the local Democratic Party for sure. I've been attending a lot of meetings and exploring options around that, either supportive or running for office myself. As I said, I launched my website, and I'm hoping that that's a platform for my voice, however that might be interpreted or used in the future. Doing a lot of writing and hopefully speaking, and I'm coming close to joining an organization that aligns with my values so that I could do both.
Well, you both are amazing in your own ways. I think it's amazing that you got together, and it's coincidental that we talked about both your stories on my show, and now we have you here. We always end our show. We're all about trying to help everybody achieve their American dream. So I'd like to end this and just ask each of you what your American dreams are.
Oh, wow. Why don't you go first, Jordan?
Well, before all this, I had a dream. I wanted to write fiction. I wanted to publish a novel. That dream has shifted slightly. Now I'm hoping that I can be an overall force for good in this country.
It's wonderful. And you, Julie?
I think my dream at this point, especially with what's been happening with the issues down in Parkland, and the more that I think about the youth in our country, I want to leave this as a better place for my kids. In any way that I can do that, I'm energized, and I'm energized by what they're doing. And with a 13 and 15-year-old, I look at them every day and think, we all have to stand up. Jordan did. We have to stand up. We have to speak out. And that's my dream, is to use my platform to speak out, especially against this administration. Diminishing powers and expanding powers any way that it promotes its own racist and isolationist and authoritarian theories and ideology.
Well, you both are amazing. You took stands. You say what's going on in America is wrong. I agree with you. And you both lost your jobs as a result of it, but you've gotten platforms to hopefully do something even better. With every, I guess, they say with every, bump in the road leads to new and better experiences, and certainly to new advances in your life. So I wish you both the best of luck. Julie Briskman, Jordan Deardahl, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right. Jordan and Julie, really inspirational. I love their stories. I love the fact that we talked about them on 2 separate days, and just in the Shooting the Breeze. And then Julie found Jordan, had nothing to do with us, started the GoFundMe page. It was actually quite remarkable, fantastic people. And hopefully what they're doing is a platform to get other people to open their eyes on what's happening here in America. Well, I want to make one other comment before we get to Kimmy Kim Kim. I was watching all the comments and I appreciate everybody who is concerned about the views on our show. We were up at 149, 150 at one point, 137. Everybody, including myself, everyone in the back studio who's running all of this behind the scenes, and of course the entire Brad Squad and everybody, we wanted to get to 300. Trust me, we wanted to get to 400. We wanted to get to 500. We wanted to get to 1,000 views. So let me just tell you just two things, because we're all about transparency. Two things that have happened, why we're kind of down, but we're going to make it back up. Is one, the Olympic thing screwed us. When we ran the woman doing the triple axel twice and got shut down. If you remember, we're watching, we got shut down from Facebook about a week or 10 days ago. They're still punishing us a little bit. So they're not sending out our feed to as many people as they were in the past. Hopefully our punishment will be over soon. I don't know when, but hopefully it'll be over soon. In the meantime, that's why we want everybody to share the page as much as possible to their friends and family and their groups, as well as like and follow on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube, because then you'll absolutely be notified when our show is on. And hopefully over time, Facebook will think we're pretty good guys here and ladies and send us off and send our reach back to what it was before. And the other thing is Facebook changes their algorithms all the time. And unfortunately they have with this whole Facebook Russian thing. And I told Jill, maybe we'll talk about it next week, but I already told Jill my theory on the whole thing. I don't have any inside information, but I told Jill my whole theory on this Russian thing. She goes, aha! I think you're right, Brad. And we're going to run out of time, so I'll save my whole Russian theory for next week on what happened between Trump and Russia. And we'll see if my theory comes out to be true. Well, eventually we're going to all find out. But they changed the algorithm, and because they changed the algorithm, we're still getting used to trying to figure out what we need to do on our end to make sure that the reach, which is how many people get the opportunity on their feed to see us, gets to that level. But in the meantime, we will figure it all out. The Olympics screwed us. They changed the algorithm, but we're pretty smart here. We're going to figure it all out with, of course, the help of the entire Brad Squad, who will get out the word. And in the meantime, let's find Kimmy Kim with any last-minute straggling questions before we get out of here for the weekend. Kimmy Kim. Hello!
Brad.
I thought maybe you're already at the club on your second tequila already. No, not yet. You're still here?
Well, the two tequilas happened in between the rabbit fires.
I see.
I got to get there. 3 tequilas in, Brad. You know.
All right. So we got any straggling questions before we say goodbye to everybody?
You know I got some stragglers.
All right,
March
so what are the stragglers?
Wants to know, what's the name of the form that you submit in order to do a search for immigration documents, and how long does it take to hear from them?
It's a Freedom of Information Act request. It's a G639, I believe. Now, there's a trick to the FOIAs. If you just say, I want to see my immigration records, or whoever's immigration records you're requesting, it's going to go in the slow line. If there's specific document you need to find, you've got to be able to specify that specific document to a specific level that somebody knows exactly what you're asking for, and then it will go in a faster line, and maybe the faster line will be a few months, but the slow line's over a year, which is why it's always good to go to a good lawyer so we know how to exactly specify what document we're looking for. So hopefully it goes into the fast lane, not the slow lane, and it's good to go to a good lawyer because maybe we don't need to see all the records. Maybe we only need to see 1 or 2 of the records to figure out what needs to happen.
Dolly says, if a person has a 2-year green card and separates before they renew their green card, how is that person supposed to renew it?
Get a divorce, prove it's a real marriage. Come see me. Maybe not in that order. Maybe come see me. I'll get you divorced and prove it's a real marriage. If in fact it was. I can't prove
I think the name of the game in the way that you've answered questions today, Brad, is saving people time. Like you have given multiple time-saving shortcuts and tips.
That's when you go to a lawyer. It's not saving time. It's reducing anxiety. It's making things go what's supposed to happen. A good lawyer does not speed anything up. A not-so-good lawyer or people who do things on their own slow it down into the mud, into the cement, or sometimes go backwards, or sometimes go left when you want to go right.
I've got 2 more quick questions. Munchie says, I'm adjusting status and I got married in October. I've never worked in the U.S. and I've only been here for about 8 months, so I don't have a social security number. Can I be included on my wife's taxes to prove the financial relationship?
Yep.
And last question, Laddie Sweetheart. She's here about 3 years now. She came on a B1, B2 visa, and her child with her child. She got married about a year ago to a green card holder. How long would it take for the husband to file for her, or should she let her mother file for her?
No, let the
who's a
husband.
citizen?
No, let the mother files for her. She's going to wait 15 years. The husband, who's a resident, is going to be about 18 months. Much better to go through the husband. And
Perfection.
there you have it, Kimmy Kim Kim.
Sent us off.
All right, that tequila's waiting for Kimmy Kim Kim. Go get it. I have my own dinner plans I got to get to. It's a Friday night. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay safe, stay warm, have a great weekend, have fun. No one get in any trouble. And we'll all see you back here 5:30 Monday. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and have a great weekend, everybody. See you Monday. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?